dangers we have overcome. The U-boat attack upon our shipping, without which we cannot live, or even receive the help which our dominions and our grand, generous American ally have sent us. You will believe me when I say that I have complete confidence in the Royal Navy, aided by the Air Force of the Coastal Command, and that in one way or another, I am sure they will be able to meet every changing phase of this truly mortal struggle.
So spoke the words of Winston Churchill concerning his fears of the Battle of the Atlantic. A definitive history of that subject this program is not, for unlike the limitations presented by video, that is always best left to the broader canvas available to naval author historians in book form. However, I have endeavored to piece together some events of that titanic struggle, and, as usual, I will purposely keep my narration as brief as possible, preferring to let the picture and sound dominate, and thus relate their own dramatic story.
Dem festlichen Rahmen ein besonderes Gepräge zu geben, trafen am Nachmittag verschiedene Einheiten der deutschen Flotte in Wilhelmshaven ein.
As the German narrator implied, these scenes were filmed in Wilhelmshaven and were probably taken in April 1939 on the occasion of the launch of the battleship Tirpitz. By the outbreak of war in the following September, the number of operational U-boats totaled a little under 60, of which barely one-third of these were of a suitable design for operating far into the Atlantic. Their production continued at only a moderate pace until July 1940, when Hitler, having realized that Britain was not going to make any peace overtures in spite of the fall of France, lifted his restrictions on their numbers. Thus, a production target of some 25 boats a month was inaugurated. Initially, severe restrictions were placed upon the U-boat commanders in the sinking of merchant ships, and unless such vessels were sailing under escort, each had first to be stopped and searched for enemy contraband cargo. A tragic error did occur with the liner Athenia, but two early successes dealt a heavy blow to the Royal Navy when U-29 sank the carrier Courageous and U-47, seen here, sank the battleship Royal Oak at anchor in Scapa Flow. In January 1943, Admiral Karl Donitz, commander of the U-boats, was promoted to C&C of the German Navy, but always believing that they alone held the key to victory, he was now able to give the U-boat arm of the Kriegsmarine top priority, and production rose to an all-time high. Of interest, a total of 1,162 U-boats were built and commissioned during World War II, but equally, a staggering total of 785 would be lost. Before the establishment of U-boat bases at French Channel ports, traditionally, their main area of deployment was centered at Kiel and Wilhelmshaven, where it would appear these scenes were filmed. Certainly they were crewed by very skillful, competent, brave men who fought with great distinction and gallantry for their country. They also suffered the highest casualty percentage of any armed force in World War II, losing some 28,000 officers and men from a total force of barely 41,000. Ironically, surviving veterans who wish to view the one only official flag of the Kriegsmarine, which is displayed in Germany today, must now do so from behind a locked gate in their Naval War Memorial at Le Beau, near Kiel. Convoy systems were quickly adopted as the best means of defense for merchant shipping, views of which can be seen here. This is the legendary destroyer HMS Hesperus, about to receive her mail from an unknown cruiser. They were ideal escorts, but numbers available were always far too insufficient.
Okay, ready to go. Are you ready? Ready? Okay, please, let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Remarkably, the Hesperus spent her entire war service in Atlantic waters and was credited with 4 U-boat kills. Shortage of destroyer escorts led to an emergency building program of the Flower-class corvette, for there existed only small numbers of similar pre-war built vessels, such as HMS Puffin seen here. Designed on whale catcher lines, the Flower-class were constructed in large numbers in Britain and Canada, and though their top speed was somewhat slower than the surfaced U-boat, placing limitations on anti-submarine work, their ease of handling made them excellent hunters when the enemy was submerged, and many successes were marked up to their credit. By piecing together some short surviving archive film scenes, we will now attempt to follow one of these corvettes as she prepares for seagoing escort duty. It will also reveal that their reputation for being extremely lively and uncomfortable little ships was perhaps well justified.
Roll on the north seas and Nelson ring down. Let go, Potter! Let go, Potter! Down below. Hi! Quick on the automatic.
Cast off. Figures on.
Keep a sharp lookout for torpedo wakes and periscopes.
Aye, aye, sir.
Oh, woman, you're eating this rubbish, you go bleeding nuts.
In a line over here.
All complaints to the cook.
Hold on.
Come on, we're all right.
In September of 1940, an agreement was signed for the transfer of 50 old American destroyers into Allied service. Never particularly popular with naval drafts, they nevertheless helped fill an urgent need. Their British crews sailed via transports to Halifax, Nova Scotia, where the Canadian Navy made all arrangements for their rapid transfer. These are a few surviving scenes of that event. The transport liner is unidentified, but she does appear to be carrying a number of evacuee children, and they must have been quite startled when, as we will see, the Dem's crew fired their stern gun on exercise.
1, 2, 1, higher up still. You can chin up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
They quickly sailed to UK ports to have modernization refits, and especially the fitting of the latest ASTIC equipment. On a secondary note, however, ratings reported their delight in finding the ship's stores generously stocked with the finest of American tin goods, only to their dismay at seeing it all quickly removed and replaced with standard Passes fare. Roll on, Jack. Of these 50 destroyers, 9 served in the Canadian Navy and a further 5 with the Netherlands. 6 would be lost, and some were eventually transferred to Russia late in the war. bustling scenes were taken in Halifax, Nova Scotia, being the main assembly point for eastbound Atlantic convoys. But to the astonishment of the British sailor, Halifax was found to be a dry port. Thus, the local bootlegger services were eagerly sought. Canada embarked upon its own extensive building of light escorts, including many Flower-class corvettes as seen here. And as her navy grew considerably in size, the RCN was eventually able to take over some 50% of the escort responsibilities in the western half of the Atlantic. Manned by many RCNVR personnel, they even wrote their own musical sonnet, as we will shortly hear.
Dear 135 true, 180 aye aye sir.
Clear about starboard.
These are scenes of Gunter Prien's legendary U-47 returning to base after sinking the Royal Oak. And though by 1942 he and some other famous U-boat commanders had been lost, that year saw the peak destruction of Allied merchant shipping, with over 1,600 vessels being sunk. Certainly the Wolfpack tactics of Admiral Donis were paying handsome dividends, and often he and the news media were on hand to welcome home the new U-boat heroes.
Der kühne Kommandant, Kapitänleutnant Brink.
Kommt er vom Südkreis?
Dorthin, wo er uns vermutet. Ausgezeichnet. So, können wir sie mal ausklicken lassen.
Das ist halt sein Limit.
Los, Jungs! Auf die Heimat! Auf die Heimat!
Docking safely into their specially prepared concrete bunkers after each mission, it seemed at times as though the U-boats may yet win the Battle of the Atlantic. However, as we will shortly see, there entered upon the scene the Royal Navy's own anti-U-boat specialist, Captain Frederick John Walker. Captain Walker commanded the 2nd Escort Group seen here about to prepare for sea. His ship, U-66, was HMS Stalin. Some of the others were the Magpie, Woodpecker, Wild Goose, and Wren. And without unnecessary dialogue clutter, we will now just let the camera commence to follow one of their forays into the Atlantic.
Received, sir.
Minimum.
Yes, sir.
SDL weight.
Bridge, stand by.
River sharp, look out.
Do you hear there? Cooks to the galley. Hands to the mess for rum.
Up we go again.
That's one of the ID boats.
Seeing that in the course of our duty we are sent in the midst of many and great dangers, and that we cannot be faithful to the high trust placed in us without the help of Almighty God, let us unite our prayers in seeking His blessing upon His ship and all who serve in her.
Alpha 060, trying to forward on, sir.
Not a sign of the convoy, sir.
Wir müssen tauchen.
Sind zu hoch.
Jawohl.
Genau von dir. Guten Appetit. Danke. Danke.
Jawohl, jetzt auf die Höhe.
Das Geistige kommt hier zu kurz.
Abwarten.
At some miles distant from the convoy, the 2nd Escort Group carry out an anti-submarine patrol. The in-view mysterious dome-like lantern structure contained the antenna array for the then much-secret Type 271 radar, which could detect a surfaced U-boat many miles distant.
This is 335 to 355.
Echo Bell 325, range 4,500.
Echo 325, range 4,500. Watch it.
Watch it, sir. First target lost. 342, 8,500.
Carry on all round sweep.
All around sweep, sir. Target 340, 3,500.
Target 340, 3,500.
Hold it, sir. Target 342, 3,400.
3,400.
Action station, action station.
Action receiving station.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Unaware of its detection, Stalin now quickly leads the group towards the surfaced U-boat. Meanwhile, she continues her search for Allied shipping.
Zero to begin.
Down 6000. Mündungsklappe.
Anlauf beginnt.
No longer visible by surface radar, the U-boat has now been picked up on the ASDIC.
Maschinenhaus ist die Kraft voraus, Hauptsteuer.
Either for the back and 1 PL, sir. Diesel engine's very faint, sir. Bearing run up to the left, sir. Rate 150 yards, sir. Head from there, good, sir. Steady she goes. 200 revolutions. Charges, medium setting. No medium charges, so medium setting. Bearing steady, sir. Left charges, sir.
Charges ready, sir. Closed up, sir.
Fire first controllers. Fire!
Sind ihr euch mal bereit?
Geräusche werden schwächer und dann weiter aus. 200 Liter nach vorne drin.
Hydrophone contact is temporarily lost.
Contact regained. Marked hydrophone effect. Submarine, all right, sir? Steady on 060. Bearing 350. Bearing 350, 500 yards, sir. I'm going to open out. Do a deliberate attack as soon as you're ready. Inclination, slightly opening. Attacking.
Yep, charges. Ready, sir. Firing number 1, then.
Durchgangsentwicklung.
Proceed with the boats.
Aye, sir.
Get your boats away.
Keep a sharp lookout, everybody.
Good Lord, another person fitted.
Get him on board. Come on, the rest of you, move.
All right, come on. Get down below. Move it.
Come on, straight back.
Hochreiter. Es ist definitiv zuerst beim Kommandanten melden, Leutnant.
Stand by for the captain.
The captain will be wanting a hot bath when all this is over.
After being at sea almost the entire month of February 1944, the second escort group set sail for Liverpool, where, to their surprise, a tumultuous welcome awaited them, for they had destroyed 6 U-boats during this one period, with the entire crew of U-264 being rescued when she had been forced to surface. However, it was not without cost, for one of the group, HMS Woodpecker, was so heavily damaged by a stern torpedo hit that she later foundered in tow. Observed high on the foretop of the bridge is Captain Walker, while from the yardarm flew the unsponsored message, Johnnie Walker still going strong. With Stalin's beloved chicks all safely tucked away in Gladstone Dock, the U-boat survivors were quickly disembarked.
At ease, men, and it's our Wiedersehen. Take them in charge, Corporal.
Very good, sir.
As the survivors marched off to the strains of Captain Walker's adopted theme music, the ship's companies paraded for inspection by the First Lord of the Admiralty, A.V. Alexander, and Admiral Max Horton, C&C Western Approaches.
Chief, Captain Walker, and officers and ship's companies of the 2nd Escort Group. I never hoped to have had the great good fortune to be here at the psychological moment when you should return from one of the greatest cruises, the greatest cruise perhaps, ever undertaken in this war by an escort crew. You have, of course, the great good fortune in this group of being commanded by a senior officer who has not only done great execution against the enemy, but will have established for himself, by reason of the help that you give him, the position of our leading anti-submarine ace. Thank you all so very much. You had some tough times in this last cruise, but my word, no group has ever more reason to be proud than you have, nor do any have we any more need to be grateful. I wish you, to Captain Walker, and to all the officers serving under him in the group, the very greatest possible luck. I hope you'll get some rest sometime. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip.
After his speech, the First Lord and the C&C were invited by Captain Walker to board his ship, and, fortunately, as we were about to see, she was also boarded by a cameraman who filmed for posterity interviews with some members of Stalin's ship's company.
Well, we've just returned from a very eventful trip, during which I may safely say that we have sunk at least 6 enemy U-boats. It happens that my job is to contact these U-boats and to hold them until we eventually kill them. We can kill them through several different methods, either from, of course, the depth charges, which we hope to kill them immediately, Or, through these depth charges, we hope to blow them to the surface so that the gun's crews may take over and, of course, destroy them. In one case, we were able to very successfully do this, and bringing the U-boat to the surface, the guns were able to come to bear and blow this U-boat out of existence.
And that's where I come in. I'm depth charge party. We drop our depth charges as soon as we get from the tip from the Attic people in the hope of destroying him. If we can't destroy him, in the hope of bringing him to the surface, where the guns will blast him out of existence.
This is where I come in. I am the gunner. The 5 previous U-boats were destroyed underneath the water by depth charges. But on the 6th submarine, it was blown to the surface by depth charges. I saw shells bursting around the U-boat. The crew were abandoning the U-boat and were seen drifting astern in little yellow rubber dinghies.
This is where I come in. I was up in the director tower. I saw the shells strike home in the U-boat. I saw the survivors jump into the sea, and that's where they ought to be.
Barely 4 months after those memorable scenes, Captain Walker died suddenly after a stroke at the age of 47, though it was generally believed that the cause was more in keeping with stressful overwork and war weariness. From Liverpool Cathedral, the coffin was taken by gun carriage through the city streets to the dockside, where HMS Hesperus was waiting to receive his body for burial at sea. At half-mast, she would fly the tattered battle ensign of HMS Starling, who, because of operational commitments, was unavailable for this sad duty. And thus ends what was only part of a short story interlude relating to the epic Battle of the Atlantic.